All right, so it's 7 o'clock. We will call this meeting to order. And under agenda item number 2, just additions to the agenda. I do have one addition for council consideration this evening. It is the addition of an interested citizen for the Community Development Committee, Donald McDonald. So I would have that added to our agenda. Any other additions this evening? I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda with the one amendment. Okay, so it's been moved by Councillor Barrett. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Seconded by our Deputy Mayor Langley. All those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Any opposed? The agenda is approved with the one addition. So we do have a gallery presentation this evening. With us is Rochelle Sampson, and I welcome you. She's the Cape Breton Regional Enterprise Network, and she is our economic development officer. And if you will hand the floor over to you for your presentation. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Is there a mic that I'm talking? No, I'm just speaking.
Yeah, you just use your coffee ring service.
My big voice, yeah, wonderful. Okay, so I did provide everybody with a quarterly report, and I believe this is the first time that I'm in front of new council. So I will give a bit of an overview of how this works. So we have quarterly reports that we complete and send out to council. So this one is for October to December, and there'll be another one following March. And so in these reports, we're looking to provide an update for what the Cape Breton Partnership has been up to, what we're accomplishing, specifically some of the roles and tasks and accomplishments that I've had in these last couple of months, and give you guys just an update of what's going on. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know and happy to answer them. I'm not going to read through it word for word by any means. It was given to you guys ahead of time, so I know that you potentially have a chance to review it, but I am just going to go over a few of the high level items that I think are important to highlight. And then if you guys have questions on those, I'm happy to answer them and anything else that we come across. So, so the report is, the first page is going to give you a bit of background on the Cape Breton Partnership. It'll give you an updated CB-REN board, as well as the CB-REN Liaison Oversight Committee. Those will always be updated dependent on if there are any changes. The reporting period, as I mentioned, for this report is October 1st to December 31st of 2024. Some of the major highlights and events were the Investor Summit, which was in October. It was sold out this year and brought over 230 business leaders for a day of focus on collaboration and connection. It was an excellent event. I'm not sure if any of you were able to attend, but I would encourage you to go next year. It's one of a kind. There is an Invest in Cape Breton podcast. So episode 6 was released, an undersaturated market for tourism investment, released on October 1st. And these episodes, they come out quarterly, I believe, and always have a bit of a turn on how you can invest in Cape Breton. So we work on making sure that those topics are, current and provide some information on people how they can get involved and invest in Cape Breton. There was a safety in the straight lunch and learn. So that was here at the Civic Center on December 2nd. We had an excellent speaker, Callum McPhee, who gave a really great perspective on employee mental health and ensuring that you chat with your employees about sometimes what's going on outside of work to be able to better work with them while they're at work. And so that went really well, but we had some great attendance there as well. So I will jump into some of the projects, the economic development projects that I'm working on. So specifically in Port Hawkesbury, we have the Strait of Canso website working through. We have just round up phase 2 or phase 1, and are moving into phase 2, where we're going to be doing some heavier lifting on the information that's included on that website. So we're going to be reaching out to some businesses for updated information. We're going to have more interactive mapping for people to be able to use and kind of see ports and information within the strait to get a much better and clear view of what's here and what services and things are available to them. So then I participated in an Activate program, and with this Activate program, we learned about asset-based community-led development. So essentially providing me with skills and data on how to better facilitate projects within the community to encourage it to come from community and not necessarily come in as a leader and try and lead a group of people to do one thing, but really work on having the project come from within community so that it's much more sustainable. So the idea is really that if someone cares about something, it will move forward a lot smoother than if you're just coming in and telling them what to do. And so really working on implementing that within our own workforce and as a team, and using that skill development to better execute projects in the community. There's also the Ocean Innovation Center. We've had a few recent meetings discussing this property and how we'd like to see it move forward. So I should have a vision and management strategy to propose to council soon enough on what we hope to see it flourish into. I know that you guys have maybe had gone to see it and seen its potential, and it's a wonderful place. So there's just a few quirks and things that we're working through to make sure that the building runs as smooth as possible. And then hopefully we will put it out to not the market, but put it up to find its best use and make sure that the right people get in there to be able to use that space. In Richmond, we were looking at an aquaculture development area as an economic development project, potentially in sea farming, so growing kelp, growing oysters, growing that kind of stuff. So in Richmond, that had been a project that we saw some potential with people having explored aquaculture before. And so I went to a sea farmers conference in Halifax to really gain some good insight on that industry, which was very interesting. It is not an easy industry by any means. PEI has really figured that out, and they seem to do it well. So we're exploring what that might look like in Richmond County and seeing if we can find industry to try something like that. I'm also working on developer packages to ensure that anyone looking to develop anything or progress anything in Hawkesbury, it's done much smoother. So we're working on a couple of tools to have in a toolkit to be able to provide to developers. And so hopefully that will be done within the next month or so. For business support, I have assisted clients with succession planning, land inquiries, expansion processes, and networking opportunities. And that facilitated some connections between potential buyers and sellers in the area. And I submitted a Can Export Community Initiative application for the Cape Breton Partnership. So we're hoping to develop a foreign direct investment strategy for all of Cape Breton. And so hopefully we'll have some good news for you guys on that soon enough. And for that, we participated in some investment readiness training. So to give us a better idea of how we can better prepare for that potential strategy. As well as participated in the community engagement session for sustainable tourism plan by the Cape Breton, the Cape Breton, their name is escaping. No, it was here in the Shannon room. Not the Shannon. It was in the, anyway, they had a sustainable tourism plan. They put me in. I'll get the words to you somewhere. Anyway, that was excellent. They did the same thing really regarding that, like the Activate program that I'd gone to about bringing community in and making sure that the plan that they develop is based on community needs and not some company coming in from away and telling you what to do. So they're trying to implement that as well. Cape Breton, Destination Cape Breton, maybe? Yeah. So, along with that, the Cape Breton Partnership has multiple other departments within its organization. So we have a green energy engagement program that is run by Jen McNeil. And so she completed the offshore wind session. So we had one in Ayrshire, we had one for Hawkesbury, and multiple others across the island. And those went very well. She collected that data, submitted it to Net Zero, and we were going to develop another What We Heard report. I attended 4 of those sessions actually, and it was excellent to hear what community was saying. They seemed much more informed because this was the second round of people going in and talking about this, which was great. People still had concerns, which were taken in and addressed to the best of their ability. But it was really good to see people still come out and ask questions and have that conversation. So that was excellent. So Jen continues to work in that sector and work with other businesses and climate electricity sector, climate change adaptation implementation team. So she's into all those kinds of, good projects. We have a creative economy development officer, Bill Culp, who does all of our creative economy stuff. And so he's got a list of items there that he's been working on. So Hollywood Executives Tours, he had quite a few people come down. He showed them around Cape Breton. He gets to show them locations where potential films could be made and that type of work. He has a Cape Breton Reads initiative that he was doing on Tillow TV. And other projects included NSCC micro-credential programs to develop local film workforce. He works with museums, artisan shops, local cafes, and theater programs for youth. We also have a people and labor force attraction team here at Cape Breton Partnership. And so they work to, they work with employees if they have labor shortages. So working with them to work through the immigration process. And we've got the Cape Breton job board, which houses any jobs that are vacant and need positions. And we have the Connector program and the Welcome Network that go around and host Coffee and Connect in multiple areas. So they've had some in Roxbury and some in Richmond as well, just helping newcomers meet other people and socialize and network and gain some knowledge of the area. So in sum, that's kind of what we've been up to from October to December. I know it's been some time since then, since we're rolling into March, which is crazy because time flies. So there's been lots going on since then, but that was that 3-month period. Does anyone have any thoughts or questions?
Exciting stuff.
It's moving, yeah, there's lots going on.
Good.
Presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, so we'll open up the floor for comments and questions. Deputy Mayor, over to you.
Rochelle, thank you for your presentation. And pleased to see the initiatives that you're pursuing. It was nice to meet you on the 27th of February with Councillor Barrett and staff and with the Grow Port Hawkesbury committee. And would like to meet again to follow up on a couple of initiatives you have on the go here that we have some preliminary work, particularly the foreign direct investment strategy.
Sure.
I'd like to update you on some things that we have been doing. So there's more cooperation.
Yeah.
And hopefully more success thereby.
Great, yeah.
So, and a couple other things I don't want to take time this evening. So perhaps I can follow up with an email. We can find a time to meet later this week to discuss those items so we can get more cooperation.
Yeah, I'm back in Roxbury on Thursday
Okay.
and available. And yeah, the more I know, the
Yeah.
easier this is,
Yeah,
yeah.
we need to, there's some barriers there that we will break down and work together on more.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, thank you.
So Councillor.
No, great presentation. I'm looking forward to the next working together. It's, want to see this place grow and get some help from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
That's okay.
Yeah, Michelle, nice to see you again. I haven't seen you since the early fall, and just want to thank you for the presentation and very interesting. Thank you.
You know, I'm excited to like circle back on some of these.
Yeah.
No, we're, really appreciative of the presentation. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Tyler Mathis for coming as well, the CEO of the Cape Breton Partnership. So thank you for coming as well. So, I mean, if there are any other questions that come to mind, I know Rochelle has business hours in Port Hawkesbury on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the professional center. But I guess, no, thank you and for coming this evening and looking forward to continuing to work with you.
Wonderful. Thank you all.
Yeah, and even Tyler too, looking forward to as well. You're not the consolation prize, I promise.
No tomatoes.
No, no tomatoes. So we'll move on to acknowledgements. Before I open up the floor for acknowledgements, I did want to acknowledge passing of former town staff person, Gary McDonald. He'd been with the town for a considerable amount of time. We're very saddened by his loss. Want to extend our thoughts and prayers to his family and friends. I also want to acknowledge the passing of Kilmer Marr. Kilmer has long been a champion of the yacht club as well as a champion as a volunteer for waterfront development. And I would ask council to stand to acknowledge the moment. Thank you so much. I guess we will, I do have a few acknowledgements, but before I go through the formal acknowledgements, I have noted I'd like to open up the floor just to see if there's any other acknowledgements from council. Deputy Mayor, do you have any?
I do have one acknowledgement this evening on the citizenship and some many years of good service, of community service. And it was by way of providing leadership in community dinners. And the duo I'm referring to is Mr. Jim George of Kennedy Street, and with the support of his wife Marie, and Mr. Jerry McGinnis, who's residing, I understand, today in the McLeod nursing home. And they provided leadership in a lot of community dinners to several denominations, all the churches in Port Oxford and outside, and fundraising dinners for Girl Guides and several other community groups. And they're scaled back in their service, and they probably in retirement, but I'm sure they have
Formidable.
But they have a good recipe book that I hope that they share. And so I would like to make a motion that the mayor writes a letter of thanks to the good work that Jim George and Jerry did. And Jim's career was a ship's cook at sea. He worked on offshore shrimp trawlers, primarily off Greenland. And I'd like to make a motion to write a letter of thanks. And if we can get a seconder, I'd like to have that letter delivered without delay in person.
Okay, so it's been seconded by Councillor Hart. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. Any other acknowledgements this evening? Okay, any acknowledgements on this side? Okay. So I do have some formal acknowledgements I would like to make today. For the month of March, it's Irish Heritage Month. If we feel have a little Irish in us, so way to the Irish. So, in International Women's Day, of course, March 8th, Commonwealth Day on March 14th. And March 21st is the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. That's a very important date in March. And March 31st is the International Transgender Day of Visibility. And on a more local note, I would like to extend congratulations to the Straight Pirates U18 AA18. They won the Cape Breton Cup over the weekend, so that was quite the championship, I'm told. And yeah, so it's definitely would like to extend congratulations to all the hardworking hockey players that and also they wouldn't have been able to have that victory without their coaching staff and the parents who spend long hours driving them back and forth to the rink. So I want to extend a congratulations to the team on a job well done. I'd also like to acknowledge that we have another gallery full of service students from NSCC. So welcome here this evening. We're very happy to have you. And I am probably going to make poor Miley. I wanted to acknowledge Miley Hanley, who's going to be doing her work experience. She's a grade 11 student from Sarek, and she's going to be doing her work experience with the town of Hawkesbury. So she'll be A wealth of knowledge at the end of her work term with all things local government. So we'll be asking her questions at the end. So thank you so much for coming this evening, Miley. We're really excited to work with you. And I think that concludes all the acknowledgements that I have. So we are going to move on to agenda item 6, which is approval of council minutes. So included in your package was a set of minutes from February 4th, 2025. I would ask if there, at this time, if there are any errors or omissions to those sets of minutes. Okay, so hearing none, we'll move to business arising from the minutes. And we do have a couple of items that we will have discussion on at our next meeting. Once we have a little bit more information, for example, the request that came forward from for municipal affairs through John Moore. So we'll I think the last time we had that conversation, we were going to seek out a little bit more information on that request. So we will have further conversations on that. But other than that, is there any other business arising? Okay, so we'll move on to council committee reports.
There are no council committee reports because
We dealt with that all in
dealt with them in the
the
joint meeting. Yes.
That's exciting. You're so efficient
Mhm.
as a council. Okay, so we do have to, I guess, well, our minutes were combined, so we don't have to approve those minutes because they were part of a public meeting.
Yep.
We didn't have a in-camera session this evening, so we can bypass agenda item 9. And 10 under correspondence and 11 under proclamations and resolutions. But we do have some business to attend to under other business, agenda item 12. So Erin McCacken, who's our acting CAO this evening, and her usual day job is as Director of Finance. So I will hand things over to you to review our expenses.
Much more comfortable in the finance.
Luckily it's finance, so you're good.
That's right, I'm good with this one. So this is the monthly expenses for CAO and mayor and council. So for the month of February, there was one expense for $368.73 for deputy mayor Ian Langley. So that's the total expenses for the month. These expenses are posted on our website, so they're publicly available for viewing of the public. That's it.
Thank you very much, Erin. Okay, and we do have a request coming forward from Straight Area Women's Place, and I believe it is a flag raising request.
Yeah, so this came forth from Straight Area Women's Place for raising the ready to request your support in raising a flag to honor Sexual Assault Awareness Month during April 2025. It's an observance is an important opportunity to increase awareness, promote education, and show solidarity with survivors of sexual violence. So there was some correspondence back and forth with the Kelsey, because we do also have, we do raise the autism flag for the month of August, but they're fine if it's kind of a shared.
Right, so happy.
Yeah, so I think what we'll do is if council's agreeable, just move forward with kind of splitting the month of April between those two, well-recognized, causes.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
thank you so much. So what is the wishes of council with regard to the request to share that flag raising space?
Your worship, I'm most definitely in favor of sharing the use of the flags on our staff.
Thank you so much. Do we have a seconder for the motion? Okay, seconded by Councillor Barrett. Any discussion? I would ask all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, the motion is approved. And if you yourself or Melissa can relay approval back to Kelsey, that'd be great. And do we have a flag or are they providing a flag?
I believe they are providing the flag.
Okay, perfect.
And I believe there's a date that they want it raised, and no.
Well, one thing, we did recently have a flag protocol
We did.
and a schedule of flags. I think it's important to somehow advertise this
It's a good idea.
and the importance of it, so the significance is not lost. Otherwise,
Mhm.
it's most definitely something that's, we deemed it worthy to fly. We should explain it and
No, absolutely.
to bring
Yeah.
the awareness.
Maybe we can partner with Straight Area Women's Place to see if there's any joint, like just if they have like a poster that they're sharing, maybe we can share that on our,
I know myself, I wouldn't recognize the flag,
right?
so
Yeah.
perhaps
it's-
others are the same way.
Absolutely. It's another opportunity to acknowledge the significance of that flag. That's a
Education.
really great point. Okay, so we will move on to approved additions. So we have some correspondence with Donald McDonald, who's a resident of Port Hawkesbury. He's interested in serving as a member of our Community Development Committee that will be chaired by Councillor Hart. And I would ask if council would consider nomination of his name and approval of that nomination. Okay, so I moved to nominate Donald McDonald. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that. I know Donald.
Absolutely, he's a fantastic guy. Yeah, he'll bring a lot of lightness to the room. Great ideas. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, we approve his appointment to the Community Development Committee, and we will perhaps, Melissa, you can, let him know to be ready to rock and roll in community development. Fantastic. So our future meetings, so I just, because we may have some challenges with quorum, to have all of our council present at our committee of the whole. On March 18th, I would ask if council have any opposition to doing something similar as what we did last month. Combining, having a committee of the whole component to our April 1st meeting to be able to ensure that all of our council members are able to benefit from having the committee of the whole information update. Council's okay with doing that. Everyone's good with that?
No objections here.
No objections?
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. So we will adjust that information, I guess, Melissa, so we'll make sure that we let folks know who may be interested in participating in case we have some more interest from the gallery to attend. Okay, and we now have a public question period. So typically for our public question period is if anybody from the gallery, and sometimes we do have some participants online. So any member of gallery, either online or in person, are welcome to get up to the podium and introduce yourself and ask a question about any of our agenda items. If I cannot answer that, I will, through the chair, I will defer the question to any of our council members or staff to answer. And if we cannot answer this evening, we're happy to circle back, provide any information that you may require. But at this time, you're more than welcome to stand up and ask a question. I don't know if any of you drew the shorter straw, but you're more than welcome to get up and ask a question about any component of our agenda. Okay, and I'm not seeing any online. Okay, so I'd ask at this time for a motion to adjourn. Okay, so we have a motion to adjourn from Councillor Barrett, seconded by Councillor Hart. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded. Here.